Turning Point USA student leader attacked near UC Boulder campus after Antifa puts out a hit list flyer. But of course, if you ask certain people in the Democrat Party and in the media, Antifa is just an idea, doesn't exist. The Colorado Antifa groups put out a hit list flyer on the college student, which accused a sophomore of being an active member of neo-Nazi organizations. God, they are so predictable. These guys are so boring. You know, it's funny to me how these lunatics, these radicals, hate-filled, obsessed weirdos on the left just seem to have the same damn playbook that never changes. You got the frothing Karens and their Karenocracy that's always, let me see your manager, and it's the same thing. You got the bottom basement dwelling counterparts, the femboy men, and all of these people operate like freaking NPCs. The cancel culture, the thought police orthodoxy, it's just cultural rot from these weirdos. This movement, because Antifa is Occupy Wall Street. It's the millennials and the Gen Xers who haven't changed. They're still the same hate-filled people, and the Gen Xers in particular who are still mad about George W. Bush and hanging chads. They seem to just have the same playbook of hate and cancellation over and over and over again. Everyone's a neo-Nazi. Everyone's Hitler. And it's like they're just mired in the same moment that they were 10, 15 years ago. And the Overton window has already changed, but they're still sitting there playing the same playbook. It's Arrested Development times 10. They are literally stuck in 2015. They're still operating from the same stupid, tired, old playbook of cancel culture that they did 10 years ago when they were getting their way. You got the same screaming, hate-filled rage playbook that just never seems to end. And if you don't agree with the hive mind beliefs, then you're just a bigot. You're a Nazi. You're a fascist. You're an animal. You're a less than. You are not a person. You're just someone who deserves to be eliminated by whatever means necessary. Because don't you know, your words equal violence. You're hurting them by disagreeing with them. You're shooting them by disagreeing with them. Which then justifies them doing whatever they want to put an end to people who disagree with them. And Antifa is just the same damn thing, the same playbook as the rest of these idiots on the left. So what do we have here? You got Antifa, once again. They dox and label all conservatives as fascists or Nazis. In fact, all regular people as fascists and Nazis if you dare to go against their orthodoxy. And this, of course, then leads to attacks. And the excuse is always the same. You got these goose-stepping, jackbooted thugs of the brown shirts on the left, the Antifa types, the BLMs, the rage-filled Karens, all the same damn card, over and over and over again. But it's okay because they're anti-fascist, which means no matter how fascist they might act, it's okay because it is in the defense of, or in the attack of fighting fascists. So it's okay. Don't worry about it, but it just never ends. So let's see what the post-millennial has to say. Oh, this is also by Hannah Nightingale. Boy, she's working. She says, police in Boulder, Colorado, are searching for a suspect accused of attacking a 19-year-old Turning Point USA student leader near the University of Colorado Boulder on Thursday evening. The attacker is suspected to be an Antifa member. Color me not surprised. The incident occurred around 7 p.m. on Thursday evening in the 2700 block of Baseline Road. Officers arrived at the scene after the male victim, who was out on his bicycle, called 911 to report that he was assaulted by a man on rollerblades. Ooh, let's see what we got here. This is the doofus. Okay, that's actually kind of, wow. Oh, man. You know, just the way that is wrapped around his skull makes him look like a goose-stepping brown shirt. Oh, my God. That less so, but that first shot, man. So this guy rolls up and decides to attack. So this suspect that we just saw came up to the victim from behind and assaulted him both verbally and with a hockey stick. The victim, though, was not seriously injured and declined medical treatment, according to Boulder Police. Let's see what their statement says. Let's see. Boulder Police have obtained and are releasing additional photos of a person of interest in a reported assault that occurred Thursday evening on October 23rd. Yada, yada, yada. Officers responded to the scene shortly after 7 p.m. after a male victim called 911 to report that while he was riding his bike, a man on a rollerblade approached him from behind and assaulted him verbally and with a hockey stick. The police department released some available images, which we saw, blah, 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 but detectives have since been able to obtain images that are of better quality. They would like to speak with any witnesses who have not yet come forward or anyone who may have information about the identity of the individual in the photographs. So based on preliminary information, it appears as if the suspect may have followed the victim from the University of Colorado Boulder campus onto Baseline Road just prior to the assault taking place. So the guy was following him, which is part of the Antifa weirdness. Andy No says Colorado Boulder Police has released more photos, yada yada, which we saw. And I think here we go. So this is the Colorado Antifa group, Front Range Antifa, and Colorado Springs Antifa put out a hit list on a 19-year-old Turning Point USA student leader at the University of Colorado Boulder shortly before he was beaten by someone with a hockey stick. So here is... Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is being put out by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, a.k.a. Antifa. So their flyer says, this guy is an active member of the neo-Nazi organizations and responsible for white supremacist, anti-Semitic, and anti-LGBTQ plus barbecue vandalism on campus and across Boulder, participated in a white supremacist boxing tournament, meaning we don't like him. This guy doesn't conform to our weird hive mind. But don't worry, my friends. The left says Antifa is not real. This is all a figment of your imagination. Now, the Colorado Antifa group's Front Range Antifa and Colorado Springs Antifa put out a hit list flyer on the college student, which accused the sophomore being an active member, which we saw. And the Boulder Students for Democratic Society shared the flyer to their social media. Of course. So the Dem students shared this because this is the kind of hive mind these weirdos have. All these cancel culture Nazis, all of these jackbooted thug types, they all have to get in on this. Oh, someone's been accused of a Nazi. This was one of those wonderful side effects, if you can't tell I'm being sarcastic here, of cancel culture, is that it gave cover to these gooners, these goobers out here who just sit around with no life, who live in hatred and rage, and they get their little dopamine hit by trying to cancel people or by harming someone who disagrees with them. It doesn't get them anywhere. It doesn't make them feel good long term, but those little dopamine hits where they get to tell each of their friends, look what I've done. They live for this crap. So of course they shared it because then they could participate in the canceling of a neo-Nazi, aka normal person. And so these Democrat Society weirdos urge their followers to share widely on the internet and tag the school to notify them that a Nazi activist on CU Boulder campus existed. Meaning, how dare you allow this person who disagrees with us on campus because he's a Nazi? It's taking all my willpower to say he did not see that coming. Although I'm sure he did. Now, where did they get this photographs from? Oh, this is the guy with the rollerblades. This looks like later in the evening. He thought he was being smug there, wearing a mask. So they must have had footage of him earlier then without the mask. Oh, he's an idiot. Now, the suspect in the attack is said to be a white male of medium tall height, of course, because how else could you be a Nazi if you weren't white? And a slender build, and was wearing all black clothing, a black ski mask. Oh, never mind, this is the suspect. And had a green Gatorade bottle. Well, I mean, I guess brown shirts are, one step away from Nazi too. With an orange top in his back right pants pocket. He was skating with a hockey stick, and the suspect fled the scene after the victim called 911, and Boulder Police and CU police officers searched the area, but did not locate him. So who knows? Maybe we will find this little goose-stepping Nazi. Well, I guess we'll find out. So, yeah, there you go. Classic Antifa, which, by the way, my friends, don't worry, they don't exist. Sarah says, I think you're important. Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I'm just some guy on the internet, but I do appreciate that. Former agnostic says, I don't understand why they can't prosecute those that have actual video and text of their criminal actions. I think that's a sentiment that is echoed by a lot of us here and a lot of normal people who don't want to see our country fall into endless violence. I think, at some point, you've got to see prosecutions of these people. Because I know they're arresting, protesters and rioters, but I want to see court cases. I want to see actual jail sentences handed down. Because until that happens, until you start seeing a lot of these people end up in jail, it's all big talk coming from the Trump administration. I mean, Pam Bondi can talk a big game, but until I see people in jail, I still have my doubts.